Hey, what's up, social media family? I hope everybody is having an absolute amazing day. I have a very unique, powerful prophetic dream that I want to share with you. Hopefully, you're going to be able to glean from this. And also, if you have any insight that you feel like the Lord gives you on the dream, feel free to write it in the comments below. And I just want you to know this is a very, very powerful prophetic season. There are so many people that are getting amazing prophetic dreams. We have people every week in our church. They get these dreams and they're so excited about them, and they tell me these dreams and they're like self-explanatory. They just make all the sense in the world to people. It's just so plain and clear. And so let's get into this dream. When the dream started, I was in a house. It looked like a vacation house, and there was something that I needed to do in ministry. So there were some people that we used to really run close with in our life that did different things for us. And I knew that I was supposed to call them. And these are people, keywords, that we used to run with. And so I said, hey, I told my wife, I've got to go call these people that we kind of still run with, and I need to call them. And so in the dream, I went to grab two things: my phone and a pair of shoes. And the pair of shoes that I went to grab were shoes that I used to wear when I was actually aligned with them. From the time frame that I used to run with these people, those were the exact shoes that I wore all the time. And I got ready to pick up the shoes, and the shoes had cobwebs all over them. And then they had those little, little spiders that when they reproduce, they have these little sacks full of little babies, and there were those little sacks all over the shoes. And I was like, "Ooh, man, I don't really want to put these on, but I know the shoes still work." This is what I was talking about in the dream. And so this one guy that I used to be aligned with, I called him and I said, hey man, I got to put these shoes on. And he said, man, if you put those shoes on, they will still work. You can get from point A to point B, but the thing is, you have to understand that if you put those on, there's liable to be a spider in there. It might bite you, you might have an infection, and it will slow you down. And if one of those, spider sacks break, you'll get little spiders all over you. You'll have to stop, you'll have to clean your feet off, and it will just be a mess. But ultimately, you can get to where you need to get because the shoes still work, but it will take you longer. In the dream, this guy said, why don't you just get you a new set of shoes? I said, okay. He said, now you might want to go and clean those shoes up, and you might be able to use them again another day. But if you want to get from point A to point B faster, you just need to go find you some new shoes because it is a new season. And I said, okay. So then I got my phone in the dream and I called the people I needed to call. We got everything handled like I needed to get handled in the dream. But there was a few start, stop, and it just didn't go smooth. But it still got done. But I didn't have an assurance in my heart in the dream that things were done as good as they could have been taken care of. Okay? And I had put those old shoes with the spider webs on them, and it just, the whole time my mind was off thinking on the shoes, like, oh, is there something in there? Through the whole process, I was focused on the shoes and everything that could go wrong. Is that making sense to you? And so when it was all over, what should have been a very quick few calls and things we needed to get done, it drug out in the dream, and I was always worried about the shoes. I was scratching my leg and just always worried about it. And when I woke up, I said, Lord, this is very plain to me that there's a lot of alignments that people are in that could still work, but somebody has grown and somebody was, oh, one more thing on the dream. I was very excited on the phone with the people I was talking to. They weren't that excited because their heart wasn't tied in to what I was tied into anymore. It was a new season. Okay? And so in new seasons, a lot of times God will give you new people to run with. Some people get tired and they don't want to run, they want to walk. Doesn't mean they're bad people. Okay? When you have different seasons, don't ever label people as bad people. Don't come against them. Don't talk about them. Y'all just may be running at a different speed in different seasons. And so the Lord was speaking to me about this is the season that a lot of people are going to have new alignments to run with other people. There's a lot of people out there that think they are running alone, but they're really not. They're about to basically get some new shoes. They're going to be assigned by the Lord to run with other people in this season. And so don't ever feel like you're out there alone. Don't feel like that God has forgot about you, and don't keep putting on those old shoes when there's a lot of things that could go wrong. Now, they will still work, but I'm telling you, be ready for what is new. I had a friend tell me one time, he said, when he was younger and he had a real small business, he had a CPA, and this CPA was so good. And then as he got older, he had 2 businesses and 3 businesses, and then they got really big. And he said, Joe, that CPA was so good when I had a small business, but they didn't understand how to run big businesses. So he went to somebody else. He said, but I always refer people that are starting out in business because they are a small business specialty. I mean, that is what they do, and they do it as good as anybody. He said, but when my business got to a certain degree, there's another guy that handles multi-million-dollar businesses better. And so he moved over. The other person wasn't bad. The other person wasn't better. It's just what they specialized in. There's a lot of times in life, God will put people around you that, like when my wife and I built her dream home, somebody laid the concrete, somebody framed the house, somebody did the sheetrock, somebody did the electrical work. We put scaffolding up, but when it was done, we put the scaffolding down. Okay, you have different people building the house at different times. Different times in your life, you'll run with different people. If someone leaves your business or ministry, don't talk bad about them. It may just be another season. And always honor the people for the time that they spent with you, because when they leave, God will always bring somebody else in. Okay, so hopefully this dream helped you. It made a lot of sense to me. It may be time that God is wanting to do something. So a lot of times when you're in an alignment in ministry or business and you just kind of feel a little, I call it like maybe like a little cringe, a little check in your spirit. It doesn't mean they're bad or you're bad. It just means it may be a time for a new alignment. It may be time for other people. Some people are in your life for a reason, some for a season, but only a very few will be in your life for a lifetime. As soon as we understand that, things will shift and things will get better. So hope this helped you today. If you got any comments, we would love to hear what you have to say. And so love you guys and hope you'll have a super blessed day.